It has become one of the more popular recreational uses of the Mojave, riding all-terrain vehicles, motorcycles, dune buggies, four-wheel drive cars and trucks off of the highway and out into the desert. But if these OHVs don't follow certain rules, it could cause problems for their drivers as well as this fragile environment. When Southern Nevada's Partners in Conservation Group, along with the members and friends of the Mesquite Cocopelli ATV Club, head off highway, they're especially aware of both the fun and responsibility that go along with any kind of OHV travel in the desert. Before these ATV riders ever took their first trips, they knew they had a lot of lessons to learn. And to do that, they all took advantage of many different resources.
It really helps to go out with somebody that's been out before, so they know the area and you can kind of learn and follow their example.
Almost everyone at work actually has an OHV, has an ATV, and I mean, just hearing them tell their stories, I learned a lot of things not to do, and a lot of the things that I never really considered, but I learned a lot from them.
We went to the library, we went to the BLM office, we talked to as many people. We'd see in our complex, we would see people that had a four-wheeler, knock on their door and say, hey, okay, we want to get one. What are the rules? Where do we start?
A bunch of the manufacturers have a deal where you can take a course in it, and my wife and I both took that course, and it was to teach you responsible riding.
The primary rule for responsible riding is to stay on established roads and trails that have been approved for OHV use by the agency or owners responsible for the land. Because when OHVs stray off into the desert, they can loosen its thin topsoil, which can then accelerate erosion and create artificially hardened new roadways that will scar the land for many years.
Over a period of time, that ends up destroying the crust of the desert, and so it becomes way more dusty, it's ugly, and you can destroy sensitive or even non-sensitive plants that just are growing and eking out a living by getting the little bit of water they can get.
These vehicles can also threaten wildlife by running over animals such as lizards and tortoises, or by destroying their underground burrows and other habitats.
You can run over the dirt where their burrow is and cave their burrow in. That can happen.
It can even happen when you're just taking a shortcut at a crossroads.
When you come up to an intersection, come to the intersection and go through the intersection instead of doing a shortcut and cutting across. That just widens out the disturbance. Anything that's disturbed gets more dust. So it slowly kind of morph into this big area of disturbed dirt.
Something as simple as retracking your route also takes a little thought and careful handling.
And most ATVs now have a reverse, and so when you get to where you're going, or if you want to just stop and turn around and go back instead of just driving out in the desert and doing a big loop, if you just kind of use the reverse, pull forward, reverse, and do a three-corner little maneuver and stay inside the path of the road as opposed to just driving a big circle around.
Any adventure you think you're going to have by blazing a new trail across desert terrain can actually put you and your vehicle at risk.
If you don't stay on the roads and you go off-road, you're opening yourself up to a lot of equipment failure and problems that way.
Every time you head out, you'll want to make sure your off-highway vehicle is in good repair. But of course, you'll also want to prepare for the unexpected by packing essential emergency items along with some important extras.
We've got our first aid kit, we've got tire repair, the plugs, the reflating, snacks for all the kids, water, camera. Got to get those pictures of the family.
You'll want to make sure every member of your family or group comes back without any bruises, breaks, or scrapes. So you should always wear the appropriate clothing and safety gear.
You can wear boots, you can wear leathers if you want, you can wear Levi's, long shirts, for sure a helmet, some kind of eyewear, you know, goggles or whatever to keep the dust out of your eyes. Those are primary things is your clothing to wear.
Just as important is the company you keep. By buddying up with 2 or 3 riders, you won't be as affected by accidents, breakdowns, and other unforeseen circumstances.
Never ride alone. One of my coworkers went out on his own, decided just to go up for a ride, and ended up going on the wrong road, so he thought he'd just go through a wash and get back, turn around. Well, it was getting dark and he didn't see the barbed wire fence across the wash. Ended up laying his head back, and he's got quite a big scar about it. But he was on his own. He had to ride back on his own until he could get to his truck and get a cell phone to get help out there.
That's why you should always make it part of your pre-trip plan to tell someone where you're going and what time you expect to return. But also give yourself enough travel time so that you don't have to speed to get where you're going.
I enjoyed the scenery, and just going as fast as you can to get to one point and turn around and come back is not that much fun.
A day of riding off-highway will be more fun for everyone if you're considerate of those who are sharing the road or trail.
If you're coming upon another group that's coming towards you, to let them know by 5 or 6, what's behind you. And when you are coming up on another group, slow down and don't dust the other person the way you wouldn't want to be dusted.
By slowing down, you can also avoid spooking any livestock or wildlife you come across.
One of the things that we try and do is make sure when we're out there that when we see animals and stuff, we slow down and don't antagonize the animals or anything, respect their territory, and that they're out there for a purpose.
And they'll still be there after you go home, so don't leave behind any unpleasant reminders of your ride.
Whatever you take in with you, take out. Not so much as leaving, like a sandwich bag. Pick up everything.
That's why these riders carry trash bags on their vehicles and even pick up litter left by others.
We really need to respect the land, the plants, the different animals. We need to leave what nature put.
But they also take some extra responsibility by helping to assess and manage human impacts on the lands they use.
We had a project with the BLM and the Desert Conservation Program to GPS all the routes in the areas of environmental concern. We GPSed the roads, intersections, campfire rings, pullouts, picnic tables, any feature that was out there that was man-made or that is being used by the public, we GPSed. So that gives them a baseline inventory of everything that's out there.
It also reminded the ATV riders how many opportunities for discovery they could find by traveling only on already existing roads.
Really and truly, there are so many places to go and explore and see in the desert. I've lived here all my life and I've not been to all of them. And there are roads everywhere. Ranchers, miners, people who lived in this area for over 100 years, and they've developed roads, existing traditional roads, to all these areas that have been in existence for a long time. I can't think of a place that you would want to go to that there's not a road to get you there.
Once they've reached their destination, they like to look back over the landscape they've traveled and appreciate its unchanged nature.
I come out on my ATV and I just enjoy getting out in the outdoors and looking at the scenery and taking some roads just to see where they go, or go up on a mountaintop and just sit up there and enjoy the view and the scenery and the peace and the quiet.
Even when they've left society and any kind of supervision behind, they still follow the rules for off-highway riders so they can avoid causing the kind of damage that might result in areas eventually being closed to them.
If we don't use it responsibly, we'll lose it, and I think we're entitled to be able to go out and see the country.
And by using some common sense steps to protect our Mojave Desert environment, they hope to preserve what is available today for everyone to appreciate tomorrow.
Come and enjoy the beauty and then leave. Leave it as beautiful as you found it.